352-566-8324. That's 352-566-8324. Ocala Mac and PC Repair. Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
All right, 5 minutes after 9 o'clock, Jim George is in the studio. If you have a question about technology, you might want to call Jim. It's a good time to get that question answered. The number is 622-9622. Jim has been coming in here for years and years. Oh, yeah, I got to do that. Let me push that button. There you go. Now we see him. It was on. It just didn't have it aimed at you, Jim. All right, so now you see him. The phone number here is 622-9622, and Jim will answer your questions. As I started to say, he's been coming here for years from ACS Group, and his profession is electronical in nature. He puts together things that make sure the entertainment gets into your house.
True.
Boy, I stumbled through that intro, didn't I?
Yeah. A lot of stuff is wireless now. More and more. I've sent you a few articles on 5G and 6G, but there's even, new standards for the new Wi-Fi wireless, like in your home. And they're making it so basically you will not need wires in your home to have internet or TV.
Do you know what was interesting? We had a story the other day that said that if you have an iPad with a rechargeable pencil attached to it, and you have a key fob for your car, the iPad might not allow your key fob to work. People are reporting that they can't get into their cars until they remove the pencil. Then all of a sudden the key fob works. Isn't that weird? Wonder how they figured that out.
I guess the frequencies at which the pin emits to talk to the iPad is a common frequency used by car people to unlock car doors.
That's something.
So they interfere.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah.
Huh?
Interfere. That's the problem with wireless. It's everywhere. I have a meter I bought several years ago for $700, and it's just a little small hand one, but it would show all the different cells and how strong they were. And that thing's so outdated now, and it's not even 2 years old, but because it's overdriven. There's too many cells, too many frequencies.
All right, so let me go through a list and tell me. I have a question for you after the list. Remote control, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, radio frequencies, TV frequencies, and all those other wireless things, right?
Yep.
Are they all basically just the same thing with different names?
No. So that's why there's actually a whole organization called IoT, the Internet of Things. They have a big convention and everything. Yeah.
Really?
And it's all, how can you make all these things talk independently and yet also talk associately, in other words, to each other. And it's a big to-do about nothing in the sense that it's still something you can't see or touch or feel. It's wireless. But the conventions are huge, and all the manufacturers are there from all over the world. And basically what it's trying to do is you can buy a thing and hook it up in your house, and it would work. And so the whole idea is to make it compatible with everything. So it's the Internet of Things. How do you make all things compatible?
And you have a phone call?
All right.
Wait till you get the headset on.
I'm ready.
Good morning. You're on the air with Jim.
Good morning, Jim. This is Sonny calling. This has happened several times to me over a period of time. I'd be going to my car, and naturally you hit the fob to unlock the door. And the car next to me, I hear noises going on in the car. I never went to see if I unlocked the other guy's car or not, but it's, I think with all this wireless connectivity that we have, I'm thinking how that could possibly mess with some people's minds. And I think maybe somebody ought to look into that a little bit. I mean, it's very. I just find it weird. The other thing is like my garage door opener and the motor and the whole control. That's wireless. You're in your car, you hit the button, and you wait for the door to either go up or go down or whatever you're doing. And all these other things, I know I have a switch. My stuff on the garage door, the motor and the receiver and transmitter, the little antenna hanging down, is all on a switched outlet. So when I go to bed at night, I turn that bloody switch off. So the garage door doesn't have any power. But that could work against you too. If you're in a blackout and you want to get in the garage or get out or get your car out or whatever, the only thing left that you can do is go over there and try to muscle that garage door open manually. And I think a lot of the garage doors today are not balanced the way they used to be years ago. So you might not be able to open a door on your own physical power. But I'm just wondering, what you think about all this other stuff that's, involved with all our wireless lives today. I'll hang up and listen. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Yes, thank you. Well, that's basically it. The bottom line is there are a limited number of frequencies. It's not infinite. And a lot of manufacturers use the same frequency all over the world. So, a person that had a garage opener in Atlanta, Georgia, let's say, would be down here and if he hit it. I mean, I've noticed myself several times when I'm in a neighborhood, I'll mischiefully hit my garage door open just to see if any. And actually, one time it actually opened up someone's garage as I was driving.
Oh, really? Yeah. Oh, no!
Wow.
So, they're just different frequencies.
Yesterday I hit my fob at Robbins Church, and the car next to my car, the taillights came on, and I thought, did I do that? I wasn't sure if I did it or not.
Yeah, because we didn't see anybody behind us.
So maybe I unlocked this car without knowing it. All right, good morning. You're on the air with Jim.
Yes, good morning, everybody. Years ago, back up in Wisconsin, when my neighbor would come home and hit his door, his automatic door, the guy across the street's door would go open too. So I don't know what the deal was there, but they got it corrected in time.
Yeah, that happens. That's what I'm saying. There's not an infinite number of frequencies. They just assume naturally that there are so many garage. I mean, what are the odds? And of course, you've shown that the odds are quite good sometimes.
Yeah. See, a question I do have: would sunlight shining on a television screen do any damage for a long period of time?
Yes. So if it was the old style, the cathode ray tube that has phosphorus in it, the answer would be yes, over a long period of time. But if it's an LED and that type, I would venture to say no.
Okay, I know my wife rearranged one of our rooms, and the sun comes in now and shines on the screen for about at least a half an hour or so. So I was just wondering if I was doing any damage, and I should probably reorganize the room.
No, for half an hour, I'm sure the answer is no, but that's what they make shades for. So you could always just bring it down halfway or something.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, that window doesn't have shades or curtains, and I don't feel like I want to get involved with that. So I just put the TV in a different spot.
No, you're fine. I believe.
Thank you.
No problem.
Do you know, I have a vague memory, and I don't know if you remember this, that there were some stories out of the Los Angeles area way back when garage door openers first started, that Air Force One, whenever the president would land in L.A., all the garage doors would go up. Do you remember that? I mean, from a long time ago.
No, but it seems quite logical because as they're taking off and landing, they are blocking certain frequencies from interfering with the plane. So they're emitting an EMF, an electromotive force. They're emitting it so that any type of tracking or anything will not hit the plane. In other words, they're stopping it. So I imagine that field of force is definitely opening up garage doors and probably opening up car doors, and chances are turning things on and on in your house.
I really thought we had that problem figured out, though. But
it'd have to be very low. In other words, under 500 feet.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Well, and it would make sense as it's landing, right?
Yeah, landing or taking off.
Yeah. When my son was little, he had a remote control fire engine. And it worked on infrared. I think it was infrared. And you could not use it out on the driveway. You had to use it indoors because the sun was just too powerful. It was just the infrared didn't make it for whatever reason.
It's line of sight, too.
Have you ever heard of that before? I don't hear about that anymore. That was a long time ago.
Well, yeah, because now they use frequencies, UHF frequencies and VHF, and all different types of frequencies for remote control. Same as drones. You know, I have a person I know that owns a drone, a very expensive drone. He said he paid $400 for it, and I couldn't believe that drones were
Does it have a camera?
It has cameras, yeah, multiple. Anyway, he set it on the ground, and he turned on the unit that would, adjust the cameras and everything before he hit the button. And as he was sending it up in the air, it took off and never to be seen again.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
It just kept going and going and going. And he kept hitting the button to bring it down, hitting the lever to turn it left or right, and it just took off.
Oh, no.
And then apparently, they put ads in the paper and everything, and about a week to 10 days later, someone found it and returned it.
Oh,
But it
really?
wouldn't work, I guess, because of maybe a crash landing or whatever. And so he called the manufacturer, and they disavowed any knowledge of these remote controls taking off by themselves.
Oh, my gosh.
But I understand that last time they were going to repair it for him for free.
Oh, I hope so.
But, that's unbelievable. You buy this expensive item, you turn it on. And he said the first time he got it, went around the yard. It showed, he's brought it over to parking lots and shown people how you could see the top of their roofs. And, but this time he took it out, and when he turned it on, it just took off.
Oh, my gosh.
They showed one on, I don't know if this was like in the future or happening now. It was so well done. It looked like it was now. Where the drone's camera is a 360 virtual reality camera. And so you're on the ground with a headset on, and you can look around as if you're sitting in that little drone.
Yes.
Isn't that amazing?
It is.
All right, you've got some more phone calls. Good morning. You're on the air with Jim.
Good morning. How you guys? How's everybody doing today?
Good. How are you doing?
Good. Listen, when you were talking about the Air Force One with the garage door openers, I'm a retired electrician that worked in New York City, and we used to have a lot of these, the corner office people had remote door closers. They hit a button and the magnet would release the door so they could have a private conversation on the phone. And every year around Memorial Day, I had several maintenance accounts. I'd be getting calls that these doors didn't work. I'd order the parts the first year. Everything worked when I came back. The next year was always the same Memorial Day. What it was Fleet Week was in New York, and the carriers were in. And apparently I found out they would jam certain frequencies around the carriers. And every year I got the same call. It came down to it had to be that. And I don't know for sure it wasn't validated, but it never occurred again, only on that 1 week when they came in.
Yeah, probably so. Emitting a low frequency, well, actually a multi-frequency emission.
All right, I think you hung up.
Yeah.
Are you there?
Okay, have a good day.
Oh, there he is.
Yeah.
Wasn't sure. I just had a text from somebody asking me not to touch that candle, so I don't know what that means. I'm not touching any candle, so I'm not sure why somebody would say that. Good morning. You're on there with Jim George.
Hi, it's me again, Sonny. Years ago, I was a lot younger. We had radio control model airplanes were coming into being, and it used to be rather common that if there were multiple planes flying around, that one would go haywire because of somebody else's transmissions, and they usually crashed. I know mine did. I don't know if it was because I was new at it or what, but after you put in all those hours to get the bloody thing working, and you see it either fly away or flying around, and then all of a sudden nosedive into the ground, you get a little discouraged. So I stayed with radio-controlled boats. The only thing they can do is sink.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's amazing how things are today compared to back then.
Yes.
And I don't know. I think I'm glad to be pushing 80 because I don't know how much worse it can get. I don't think everything is so great. Have a great weekend, everybody. Happy Easter.
Hey, thank you, Sonny.
Bye now.
Better to be pushing 80 than pushing daisies, right?
Yeah. You had an event last Saturday that you had a control group to unveil some part of your cable system.
Yes, it went well. We The people at Ocala Palms have been waiting for years patiently for me to get this IPTV going. And, of course, when, you keep saying you're going to have it, and it's just quite frustrating to them. So we had a meeting where we wanted to tell them just how difficult it is to put all this electronic stuff together and make it all work. We have the set-top boxes, we have the technology, we have the servers, but to make it all talk together so it's seamless. So when you turn your TV set on, you don't have a bad experience. You have a good experience where you can change channels, you can record, you can rewind, all that type of stuff. And many people were very acceptable to it and said, yes, we know you're trying. Others were saying it's been 5 years now, and it's true. It's been a long haul, but I couldn't find the technology or the technicians that understood the technology, so I had to grow my own. So I had to get guys that knew a lot about IT and a lot about security and a lot about different things and put them in the same room so they could say, well, we can do that this way. Or we can. And now we get emails and webinars every day from manufacturers saying, use this software to do that and use this. They want me to use their software. Whereas I've already developed my own software now. Of course, it's 5 years.
Yeah, right.
But now I own the software, so I'm not paying royalties each month.
Have you ever noticed that we are just insatiable? We keep wanting the next thing, and as soon as we get it, we want the next thing.
Yeah, that's true.
There is no satisfying us. It doesn't matter what it is, right? I don't know why we couldn't have just stuck with the horse. Just keep a horse. What do you need a car for? Right?
That's like my wife likes the popcorn, every night. Got to have that popcorn.
That's right.
She's a creature of habit.
Yeah, but at least she doesn't need the newest, the newest best, whatever.
Yes, right, exactly.
The new and improved popcorn.
And I can't get over how the young people, maybe it's old people too, but I don't know, that want the latest cell phone. I mean, if you have a phone and it works, and you could call somebody, and if you needed to, you could see their photo on it, and you can take pictures, and you can text, and you can search the internet. Like my mind says, what else is there? I mean, but they keep every year, sometimes twice a year, this phone comes out that has a more better background screen. The next one comes out, it's an inch and a half larger,
Well, that's what it is. Now they have the folding one.
You remember the commercials that the rap people would have these big boom boxes on their shoulder? And okay. Yeah. Pretty soon you're going to have a 27-inch TV on your shoulder, and that's going to be your cell phone.
Yeah.
Now there's a picture. You just put it in our minds.
Bigger and bigger and bigger, Yeah. Hey, Ma, how you doing? I can see you, Ma,
Well, all those decades ago when we were down in Church Street Station, when it was still a viable entity, we heard this big sound coming from Sharper Image, and then we go in there, and they had these tiny, tiny speakers called Bose, and they were phenomenal. And I wonder what's ever happened to them, because they were like cutting edge with sound and in size.
They still have them, but there again, it's an item you're not going to find in Best Buy or Walmart. It's going to be a specialty item that you have to go online and find.
Oh.
It's like you might watch a movie, a thing on TV, Tiny House, where people build tiny houses, and you'll see the refrigerator they have or the table they have. You can't walk into a Lowe's and buy that. It's a specialty item. You have to go online to the manufacturer, or if you want a different front to it, you want it stainless steel, but you want it maybe brass instead of stainless steel. There again, it's a specialty item. There's everything, I guess, has ever been invented is still out there. It's just a question, where would you get it? How would you find it? We have the same problem in electricity. There are certain manufacturers, one's called FPE, it's Federal Pacific Engineering, and they've been out of business for 20 years. To try and get a part for that is almost impossible.
Yeah.
And just the other day, I ran across an article that says if you're looking for FPE parts, we have them, and they're in Duval County, in Jacksonville, and they sell them.
Oh, my gosh.
And they just bought all the inventory up, and every time someone pulls one of them out, they buy all its inventory so that you can still keep that old stuff still working.
Are they still reliable all those years?
No. Even when they were working, they were not reliable. There were emails 20 years ago and letters and stuff in the magazines saying, pull it out. Well, and its main problem was...
What did it say?
Pull it out. So you'd buy a 20-amp breaker.
Right.
For your washer or dryer. Let's say a 30-amp breaker. Let's be reasonable. And it wouldn't pop at 30 amps. It wouldn't even pop at 50 amps. It wasn't reliable. And so the manufacturers, FPE went bankrupt, basically. They didn't make a good product. But yet there's hotels and motels and schools all over the nation that have FPE stuff in it.
The funny thing is that when we were kids, we learned how to use that tube testing machine. We couldn't wait to grow up and use these things because your dad taught you how to use it.
Yeah. You go to 7-Eleven, plug that sucker in.
Then you get up, you grow up, and you don't need it anymore.
Can't plug in a motherboard now.
Well, everything seems to be in certain compartments. Like you go and you get your car serviced, and everything's in a certain compartment. So they throw that away and get something new. And that seems to be the way for TVs now.
Yeah, we're definitely a throwaway technology. It's a board made to do a specific job or a group of boards, and they don't repair them. I've begged people to take some. I've had some old boards. If you like to, you gotta go to the dump. No one's going to repair one item on that board, and most of it's micro stuff. In other words, you can't even hardly see it with the naked eye. You have to have a magnifying glass just to see the part on there.
So I have one story for you from this morning regarding to something you just said. It says, get ready to grab your wallet if you're interested in the latest smartphone. Today, Samsung will start sending invitations to those who have signed up on its website to get the Galaxy Fold, the foldable phone.
Right.
$1,980.
Wow.
$1,980 for a phone that folds.
Wow.
Yeah.
So is it rubber or plastic or what?
Well, I haven't seen it,
does
so
it do?
I can't tell.
Oh, it just folds.
Yeah.
Like the flip phones used to be?
No, like the screen folds.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
It says it has a battery on each side. People want to know how'd you fold the battery. Well, they put a battery here and a battery there, and then it's folded, but that just makes it thicker.
Oh my
So
gosh.
I don't know. We'll have to see when
But
it
it's
comes.
spelled F-O-L-D.
Yeah, FOLD.
Right. Robin was asking that why wouldn't they spell it P-H-O-L-D?
Exactly, for phone. PH
Oh.
for phone or
P-H-O-L-D for fold, you mean?
P-H-O-L-D for fold. The
Yeah.
phone
Fold phone. The fold phone.
Wow, you have to patent that.
Yeah.
No, because then people would be calling it the P-hold phone.
Oh.
P-hold. The P-hold phone, Robin.
Yeah.
Are there any apps on your phone that you can test your wires or things when you go out on service calls?
I can test wireless devices. We don't plug anything into the cell phone that would test that way, but we wireless. So we can test the Wi-Fi network in the building. Like even in here, we could test how strong it was, how many megabits of use there was on each band or frequency, and items like that. And we can turn the antennas, and we could see if it's getting stronger or weaker or that type of thing. Yeah.
By the way,
We have that capability.
Robin mentioned earlier this morning that Dennis Baxley, when his son was little, Dennis has a blind son.
30 years ago.
He actually had the beeping Easter eggs for the Easter egg hunt for the blind child, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And now it's in the news this morning. I guess they're using it up in New York and a couple places to have an Easter egg hunt for blind children. That's kind of cool, huh?
It is cool.
That's a technology thing that
It is.
we like, right?
Yeah.
We do like that. We do like that because there are even young children need that. Never mind that blind or not, because it's behind the tree or something. They're trying to. They want them to go home with.
There you go. That's a good idea.
eggs.
Yeah.
Let them beep.
And yesterday there was a guy in here from the VA eye clinic, and he had a device you hang on the edge of your cup. So when you pour liquid into it, you'll know when it's filled. You won't be overflowing your cup.
Oh, okay.
It beeped when the water,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Kinda
That's
cool.
pretty cool.
Seems like an easy invention.
Very
Yeah,
nice.
well, I had a friend of mine, and she is blind, an older lady, but she puts her finger in there when she pours even the hot water, hottest of water, and when it touches the bottom of her finger, that's how how far down it is.
Well, that seems to be the better way. You don't have to have a device.
Yeah.
Right.
It's a better idea.
That's what they teach you
your
at
finger.
the school.
Jim, do you celebrate Easter?
I do.
Well, have a happy one.
Thank you. Yep, I'm going to eat like there's no tomorrow.
Me too.
All right, we'll be right back. This is The Source, WOCA Ocala.
Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
Fox News, I'm Lillian Wu. The president tweeting about the